My husband Mara came home late that Saturday night, looking like he'd stepped out of life I didn't know he was living. His hair was styled differently. He smelled like a cologne I'd never bought him, and the smile he gave me felt like it belonged to a stranger. I stepped forward to hug him out of habit, the kind of small ritual we kept even when things were tense. But he moved back, quickly like my hands were knives. "Don't touch me," he snapped. "I'm not doing the spouse act tonight." The words hit harder than anything he'd said in months. For a long time, I had felt him drifting away, slowly, quietly, excuse by excuse. But hearing him say that in that voice made something inside me go still. It was the moment he stopped pretending, and the moment I finally woke up. He didn't notice the way everything in me shifted at once. But those harsh 8 words told me what I've been afraid to admit. The late nights, the sudden work events, the messages he hid, the new clothes bought with no explanation, the way he suddenly cared about his appearance before meeting people I never met. I'd given him patience, trust, benefit of the doubt. He had turned all of that into a playground. He walked past me without a glance and went straight to the bedroom. No conversation, no explanation, just silence, so loud it rang in my ears. But instead of chasing him, asking what I did wrong, or begging for attention, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I smiled, because I finally knew what I was going to do. While he slept, peacefully and carelessly as though nothing was breaking, I walked through the house and took stock of everything: documents, bills, accounts, the things that would matter later. I wasn't furious. I was calm. And sometimes, calm means a storm has already passed. I packed a small bag with only what mattered: my mother's bracelet, my laptop, clothes, and important paperwork he never bothered to learn about. That night, I made a choice. If he didn't want to be a husband, then I was finished being a wife. I would not beg. I would not fight for scraps. I would not fix what he broke. I would simply vanish from a role he expected me to keep playing. When he woke the next morning and saw me packing, confusion spread across his face. "Where are you going?" he asked groggily. I looked him in the eye and said, "Don't worry. You won't have to pretend anymore." His panic was instant. Suddenly, the cold stranger from a night before was gone, replaced by someone wide-eyed and scrambling. "Wait! Hold on. I was tired yesterday. You're blowing things out of proportion." His voice softened too quickly, like he thought I'd melt. I walked past him toward the door. "I'm done being your backup plan." I left before he could answer. He started calling before I even reached my car. 1 call, then 3, then 10. I watched the screen light up again, and again, until I silenced it completely. At first, his texts were annoyed. "You're acting ridiculous." Then they turned sharp, stopped being dramatic, then desperate. "Please call me." And finally terrified. "Where are you? Please come home." I didn't reply. For years, I had tried to fix everything. Now, he could sit with the consequences. My silence was the only thing I had never tried, and it was stronger than any argument. I checked into a small hotel and turned my phone off for 2 whole days. 2 days of peace. No tension. No cold shoulders. No guessing what version of him I'd get. Only quiet and clarity. And somewhere in that quiet, I realized just how long I had lived inside a marriage where love was one-sided. When I finally turned my phone on again, it flooded with messages. Over 60 texts, dozens of missed calls, voicemail after voicemail. In one, he was angry. In one, he was crying. In another, he was apologizing. But one message changed everything. "Please don't do this. I swear I was with someone last night, but we were just talking. Please come back." And just like that, he slipped. He didn't say friend. He didn't say co-worker. He didn't even try to cover it. His panic dragged the truth out of his mouth. Everything I'd suspected was suddenly confirmed by his own voice shaking through the phone. That evening, he showed up at the hotel lobby. No perfect hair, no fancy clothes, just swollen eyes and trembling hands. He rushed to me like a man who finally realized the house was burning. "Please," he begged, "come home. I was stupid. You know I love you. But betrayal changes something in the way you see a person. Once the mask falls, you can't forget what's underneath. You meant what you said, I told him quietly, "And now I finally believe you." He tried grabbing my arm, but I stepped away just like he had done to me. And that was the moment he broke. He collapsed into sobs, pleading, promising anything, saying he'd change, saying he'd fix everything. But respect, once shattered, doesn't magically rebuild itself. And he had destroyed mine long before I walked out. I told him I needed space, not the kind he used as a weapon to punish me, but real distance, distance to breathe, to think, to reclaim myself. In the days that followed, he kept trying, calling, texting, apologizing, explaining. But I didn't answer. I didn't go back. I didn't make it easy for him anymore. And the silence he once used against me became the very thing that haunted him. He finally understood something he never expected. I was done disappearing in my own marriage. And while he unraveled, I stood taller, stronger, finally free from loving someone who only valued me when I walked away. The moment he realized his own words had ended the marriage he thought he controlled, that was the moment his world cracked open.